Hello, welcome back. Let's finally go to the capital world. Our Captain, Master Helmsman on the line. I can report that the quest for the capital world of Vomitalist is finally at an end. It's straight ahead. We have received countless greetings. Your subjects would like to know when their master will be arriving. The merchant captain takes refuge in the orbital docks of race to send you priceless welcoming gifts, hoping to buy your fervor to make an impression on the rogue trader. After connection to the helmsman is cut, the device crackles with Lord Captain. I will be pleased to accompany you during your visit to Dragnos so I can personally introduce Cassandra, a servant of the Golden Throne who previously attended Lady Theodora on Dragnos. I am counting on your benevolence. Adaptus Mechanicus ship. Ooh. Let's see who we get to see. Yeah. Might as well. I have a feeling I'll be needing it regardless. Okay, let's go to the Mechanicus. The transport shuttle bearing the marking of this. As approaching the ship, Magos Tessis delegation intended to board our ship and gain an audience with your lordship. This is exactly how they phrased it. He intended no humble. He attends, not humble requests. Many of my top runners neglect diplomacy with interacting with Linus. Let's see. It is regrettable. Punish them for their disrespect by letting them dock at the furthest and most dilapidated airlock, so that it takes them an eternity to traverse the ship. Oh no, let's not do that. Our service of the Unstar has ignored our request. Such arrogance is hardly trivial. Permission to be present at the audience granted to my tech comrades. Oh, great! We're back in here again! A group dressed in the crimson of the priesthood of Mars walks towards you. Their gazes are fixed on Pascal. You note that the group is not monolithic. Some of its members are more heavily armed and follow a large tech priest clad in battle armor. Others keep a respectful distance and cast inquiries looks as their own leader, whose hunched position belies his tall frame. Despite the hood hiding his face, you recognize him as up to 22, who you encountered on Footfall. The Norse tech priest points his hand at Pascal and lets out a booming roar. Not unlike a factory alarm, it makes you very bone vibrate. Harold's servo skull, marked with the emblem of the cog, follows in his wake. They barely shrilly, "Thou shalt not suffer a heretic in thy forge, for rust begets rust." Pascal Hammer, in the name of the Adeptus Mechanicus, you are under arrest. Turns to you, diplomacy mode, engaged. offer their apologize. Would like to inform you of the necessity of conducting a operation on a faulty unit of the Roadcher's territory. You identify the rare armor the enormous tech priest is wearing as a sector's plated mechanized suit. It carries the imprints of many battles and has marked that announce its status as a relic. Some of the armor's damage looks fairly severe, to the point of endangering its operation. The slivers of flesh revealed under the steel are marked with terrible chemical burns. Every now and then, convulsed shakes the paw. A painful, sundering hiss comes from his fox. Who spoke to you looks more peaceful and makes a point of not drawing his weapon. There is an air of concern about the way he frequently glances over at his fellow, scrutinizing his coordination. Burst of chatter, the service call howls. An instrument of the Omnissiah's authority to punish and exert vengeance by the degradation Terrazas Hannerman. Adventure Code recognized and confirmed. These units are who they declared themselves to be. Their tick is accused of stealing personal identification codes, spreading tech heresy on the world of Gamma, and attempting an attempt on the life of a servant of the Omnissiah. The deafening roar from the talks makes you grimace in pain. You touch your ears and notice blood on your fingers. The faulty unit will be removed in the name of the Omnissiah. I condemn you. Lighting flashes across the armor. Angry response to the Fox alarm. And Contracts speaks quietly and coldly. You are Manufactorium Tech Comrade. I deem your logic conclusive. The conclusion is questionable. The statement is false. Tech Brothers is willingly undergoing holy tournament, which, however, does not critically affect his capacity for analysis. Unit calls itself Pascal has information that which inflicts you. Having learned that you, a member of retinue, a Rugbear, we have come here to the goal of meeting you, intercepting you, and engaging you in combat! How do you suppose Pascal was involved in the events of Kiva Gamma? Our data suggests the unit, which used Magos Explorer, Helmut's Authentication, performed an unauthorized upgrade on the planetary Vox array and introduced data deemed to be scrap code and operation. This fact points to this unit's critical conversation with the heretic Cubus Delirium. I deny these charges. I've never plotted against my tech comrades. My cognitive purity vows was never disoriented. My unique identification was never stolen. I am the true Mogos exploiter Henrin, and I am not guilty. False witness. Request approved, ready to work in cooperative mode. Gives a haughty look and sets out a howl of wrath. Tech Brother lays perspective in the investigations, search for the truth. The operator advisor is favor in the house request. Request for cooperation reviewed and accepted. I request Tech Brother to consent to the co-position of representatives of the Von Valenza dynasty in the investigation proceedings. Sacrilegious conspiracy. I refuse help from laypersons. I am a cog of the Deus Mechanicus and grinds down corruption, and I will carry out the sentence immediately. Freezes, but green sparks light up in his visor. He extends a hand towards Stra and replies in a colleaguing voice, "Let the cycle be discontinued." You realize Pascal's words are coming from both his own vox and Tauris's. Then every senses of the spell harnesses lights up at once, blinding, and on the wounded, armored Leviathan lets out a deafening roar of pain. Priority notification, service of unit of capital threat. Supply lines are unauthorized to confront the rotator. Command retreat and reinitiate negotiations.
Oh, another annoyance.
Come to chaos!
You just screaming "come to chaos" is not helping your case. Pascal, what's wrong with your family? Every one of them wants to kill us!
As the Emperor commands, you, my Emperor! I'll do it. Emperor, give me strength.
I am a navigator, not a servitor.
The omniscient knows all, comprehends all.
I'm not accustomed to being ordered around. Isn't this a job for the serfs?
They have reject the flesh! Oh!
A genius at work. Let's see. A wicked thought. What if?
There we go.
A genius at work.
Ah!
Let's see to it. For the throne's glory.
High momentum.
A tactically sound approach. Exemplary strike. It will be done. For Von Valancius! Victory is imminent. It will be done.
I won't go down easy.
Vital functions successfully terminated. He is the dread of his faithful. Running by narrative. My frail organics required it. The scriptural prognosis is favorable.
Get rid of the evidence!
Request approved. Explorers know one route. Forward.
Faith without deed, none can escape the Emperor's judgment. I'll do it. As the Emperor commands.
High momentum.
I'll show you why navigators are feared.
Naturally. Inquisition sends their regards. Nothing stands against me. Let's see to it.
Schemes within. You were marked for demise. A wicked thought.
We're doing it my way!
If I may,
Requesting ceasing of hostilities. Help your brother. Reply, Ramizwalks, unable to fulfill request. The Omnissiah granted me an epiphany, and I muted the maimed machine spirit that was filling Caesar's mind with fury. I do not fully understand the manner of my appeal to it. The situation perfectly mirrors the incident on Rector Minos when I appealed to the machine spirit of a malfunction mechanism and lead it to rest. I also regret having a negative assessment of this event. Still, this unit identified itself as of criminal theft of a unique identification code. Unlike tech priests, I am not authorized to immediately arrest such execute the unit, but neither am I authorized to drop the inquiry. There are no apostates among us. Piercing voice from the Vox synth is more overwhelming than war. Tech brother Teresis, enemy spirit that lived in his body harnessed, succumbed to the suffering that beset them. Their judgment was rash and erroneous. Now their torment is over. I declare them martyrs and am recognizing that Teresa's neural augment for the purposes of preserving his blessed memory. As astonished tech priests look on, Pascal leans over the slain man's body and extracts the augments from his skull. His movements are as precise as they are respectful. With each word, Pascal's voice grows more powerful and majestic. You saw the agony your tech brother was in. His unbridled pain spurred faith, intimidated yours. Yet you were silent. Reserve stopped you from risking your voice to proclaim that the machine spirit, which with his mind has merged, was morbidly afflicted. The impressive of reverence has paralyzed your will, and you watched a tragedy unfold in silence. The sixth universal law states that comprehension is the true path of knowledge, yet the cycles has robbed you of your comprehension. Therefore, let the cycle be discontinued. Let the cycle be discontinued. The cycle be discontinued in his voice. Crackle somewhat. I decided to sustain my word with an expert from one of the blessed Amarat's sermons on loss of the internal and existential functions. Verse 4, my analysis deemed it appropriate. It has been a long time since the word of the Omnissiah of disconnecting were last spoken openly over public communication brands. We respectfully welcome wisdom's return. So he is not forgotten after all. Negative. I have no contact with Amra. I was never a member of his flock. However, my analysis of the doctrine he outlined inspired in me deep respect. Partial removal from the chain of command. That was the authorship of contribution on a series of sermons on discontinuing the cycle that was disseminated across the fleets. It was, in fact, a title used by many in times past. Unavailable, no reports mentioned Amarat since the incident on the Ark, which led to be disappeared of the void ship. My archives have no data on incidents. The vessel was based in operation. It is lost then. Statements false, contrary to what many servants of the Omnissiah thought they knew. Prefer to believe the fleet's Supreme Conclave never formally issued an official statement. Members openly supported Amra's view and disappeared. Were removed from chain of command under circumstances that were classified. The Supreme Conclave has never had a qualm ever since. The data received provide a basis for calling the fallen tech brother in question out of respect due to lack of authorization. Incident follows by the discontinuing. We will not proceed with the detainment arrest termination. So it knows all, comprehends all. Thank you, tech brother. Request denied. Supply line. Okay, so leaving gratitude for the ceasefire and proclaim it interest in returning, resuming performing its regular function. Tech press looks over at Pascal as if waiting for something. Mike Dredge briefly touches the shoulders of 22, who bows respectfully. Game? Thank you, game. Ah, corrupted shite.
Curiosity sings in my veins.
We haven't been in here since the beginning of the game. And once again, covered in blood.
My apologies. 19% of my processing power is engaged in the analysis of my tech comrade's memory. My response time may be longer than usual. I was not knowledgeable as to how popular Blessed Almanat's teaching was in exploratory circles. The Cognizance fleet is massive. His ideas might have found a larger following on its periphery than in the Mother Squadron. The data is scarce. His identification code is the same as mine, and his memory contains data confirming that the assassination did take place. Unfortunately, some of his memory was damaged by pulses broadcast by his battle harness. I can assert with some confidence that he was who he claimed to be, and that he served the Deus Mechanicus earnestly and eagerly. Notwithstanding his permanent state of agony, he was not cognitively dysfunctional. His desire to immediately destroy the object he had deemed profane was partly dictated by his engrammatic augmentics, which were receiving imperatives from his battle harness. In light of the oddness of our matching identification codes, I find merit in his hypothesis as to the existence of a clandestine malevolent agent or conspiracy operating inside our fraternity. No data available. I will hypothesize that the assassination was instigated by an enemy of the Blessed Amanat's doctrine. I accept the possibility that the assassins were targeting me, only to be led astray by Tarsus and my own identical identifiers. I am concerned about the fate of Archmagus Amanat. According to Opticon 2-2, he went missing in the wake of the incident on an Arch Mechanicus, the Hermetico. Information about that ship and its perishing has been purged from the archives. I accept the possibility that the incident on the ship, the concealed data, and the assassination have all been part of a single conspiracy. Of course, faith is dangerous. Faith is the prerogative of the spirit, and a spiritless mind is an enemy of all existence. Without faith, there is no meaning in anything, no point to any aspirations or limitations. But faith can take different forms.
I'm just doing this because of, I don't know if it was actually a book or a story or if it was fan-made, but the Emperor in the Last Church.
The form of prohibitions established by unknown elders. The form of an audacious violation of those prohibitions. The form of following dogma or of schism. The form of following the cycle or of discontinuing the cycle. In a system with two courses of action, schism is inevitable, and only one of these paths will be true, as truth is discreetly separate from untruth. Amanat did not reject any one specific prohibition, but found their cumulative effect to be oppressive. The system of rigid limitations had confined seekers of knowledge to a circular track, spelling doom for the thinking mind. And that cycle of repetition had to be broken. That was why he was dubbed the Messiah of Discontinuing. It is a stable path for growth. The minds of different individuals are not equal. The revelations bestowed upon them are not equal. Some must guide, and others must trust those who guide them. We are all guided by the Omnissiah, and perhaps it is only thanks to his first prophets and the prohibitions they gifted us that we still exist. I will continue my research into the Blessed Martyr's memory with all due reverence. May your labors be...
So half our crew is already stated for what we're going to be doing on this planet. But I'm going to have to call it here. I know it's a bit, the fuck? Trina Guardian of Trophy, say beauty. Sorry. What? All I was going to say is I am going to call it here, regrettably, because I did want to continue a bit more, but I feel like it would probably be best if I called it here, and the next time I play, I will be able to see the worlds all in one go. So I'll see you all in the next.